Hello, my name is Samuel. In this presentation, I will explain the three steps moral decision-making framework to a major moral issue that affects both the United States and communities around the world. Racism and discrimination, even with laws are that mean protect people, racism continue to appear in schools, workplaces, neighborhoods, and every interaction. It is a serious ethical problem because it undermines the justice and human dignity. Today, I will explain how this problem appears locally and nationally, and then I will apply the three steps moral frameworks to determine the most ethical response. Racism and discrimination are among the most common moral problems in society. Law exists to prevent unfair treatment, yet discrimination still happens in education, in professional environments, in housing, and daily social encounter. This issue is morally important because racism breaks down human dignity and the basic principle of justice that every society should defend. The three steps moral decision making framework help us to understand the conflict, evaluate the values involved, that decided the most ethical course of action. Racism does not only happen in areas with a severe racial conflict or huge population, it also appears in local communities such as El Paso, even though El Paso is a diverse city with a large Hispanic population. Racism and discrimination still happen in many ways. People with accents or limited English skills experience unfair treatment in schools, at work, and even using public service. Hispanic and immigrants work sometimes receive fewer job opportunities or lower pay, even when they have the same abilities as other schools. Students who speak Spanish at home may be placed into a lower academic or denied access to advanced programs. These situations show how discrimination can be subtle but still harmful and blocks people but to success and diminish their confidence and opportunity. Across the United States, the regime continues to harm millions of people. Individuals from minority communities face disabilities in education, healthcare, employment, and the criminal justice system. Research shows that African American and Hispanic people are more likely to be stopped by police and receive a harsher punishment. Minority communities often have a higher poverty rate. Inter-school receive less funding. The example shows that discrimination is not just an isolated problem. It creates long-lasting social inequalities that affect communities, not just individuals. The first step of moral framework is to identify the ethical conflict. In the case, the regimes come into a direct conflict with several important moral values. It violates justice because it treats people unfairly. It violates human dignity because it views some people as less worthy based on a race, background, and causes harm both emotionally and financially by limiting opportunities and affecting people as well-being. Because it goes this core moral value regimes represent a serious ethical problem that must be addressed. The second requirement is to evaluate the values that are involved justice and human dignity, how much more important than any argument used to defend racist behavior. Sometimes people try to justify discriminatory actions through stereotypes or by saying this how things have always been. But this is just not on the way the damage caused by racism ethical design making requires choosing the values that create the least harm and the most fairness, justice, and dignity are stronger and more important than prejudice, bias, or confidence. The third requirement of the framework is to select a moral justified action, to act ethical and involve and Communities must actively work against racism discrimination. This includes enforcing anti-discrimination policies in workplace at school, offering training includes enforcing that protect people from unfair treatment. People should challenge that discrimination when they see they see it and make sure that everyone has equal access to opportunity, regardless of their background. In a community like El Paso, fairness and cultural respect should be fundamental values that guide how institutions address traits on one another. As a school example, show why that action is necessary. Imagine two students with the same academic abilities. One of them is discouraged taking advanced class simply because their accent or cultural background. Discrimination harms the student goes against the principle of justice. The more correct approach is to offer both students equal opportunity based on their effort and academic performance, not on stereotype. This example demonstrates how everyday decisions can either reinforce discrimination or support fairness. In conclusion, racism and discrimination are widespread moral issues that affect both El Paso, Texas, and communities across the United States. This problem violates the values of justice, equality, and respect for persons using the trusted moral framework shows that most ethical action is to fight discrimination and promote fairness at both the local and the national level. Addressing terrorism is not only a legal responsibility, but also is a moral duty that protects human dignity and helps to create stronger, more equal communities. Should the commitment to justice, society can move toward a world where all people are treated with fairness and respect. Thanks for listening.